Hey everybody, Kennis here. Hope you're doing great. Today I'm making a video on how we run tracks using Ableton Live here at our church. Check it out. So about a year ago, we put together a system to run backing tracks while we're playing live on Sunday mornings at church. I just wanted to give you kind of a quick overview of what setup we're using, and it might be helpful to you. And if you have any questions with this, or you want me to go into more detail in another video, just put it in the comments below and I'd be happy to make another video for this. So let me switch the camera around and I'll show you exactly what we're doing. So here at our church, we have like a Behringer setup. So we use a lot of Behringer equipment. So like right here, this is our in-ear mixer. Back there in the sound booth over there is a XR or X32 soundboard. And both of these apps are Behringer apps. And what we do here, this software here is called Ableton Live. And basically, if you can see in here, it's got all of these different tracks to different songs, and then I can mute them or unmute them. If you're not familiar with Ableton Live, it's a pretty cool software, especially for playing live. But I'm not going to go into too much details with that. But basically what I'm able to do is I could have, where it's very beneficial is on a Sunday morning. You know, as you can see from just our stage setup, we've got two keys. I'm up there in the front, one guitar, electric guitar back here, bass and drums. Usually that's our setup. Sometimes though, we'll have a guitar player that maybe they don't know the lead line to a song, and I can unmute that line on the software and it's playing. He's still playing, but he's just kind of playing the background guitars, that kind of thing. There was one Sunday where our bass just went out and I was able to unmute the bass in here and we had bass. So it's pretty cool. But even more than that, it kind of fattens up the sound in the sanctuary, because you're able to play with not just the instruments that are here on the stage, but you're able to play with an additional, you know, like on this track here, there's almost probably a dozen different instruments playing. And so I've added, like on here, this is What a Beautiful Name. Let me just kind of play you the middle of the song. You can kind of hear that. I've got a percussion thing happening, an effects, a bass synth, an electric guitar, keys 1, keys 2, which is that pulsing thing. I could probably, I could add strings in there if I wanted to. It even has background vocals if you wanted to do that. Anyway, I'm not going to dive too much into that, but I wanted to show you how we have it run hardware-wise and what's going on. In Ableton Live, I can go in here and select my audio interface, which I'm using an XR18, so I have that selected. And then out of this USB port here, it's going down here and across back to this unit, which is it's upside down here, but this is the Behringer XR18, and this is awesome. I have one of these in my home studio as well, but I'm basically, everything is plugged in using this USB here. So this is hooked up to the computer, and I'm able to make this think that something is plugged in, or I'm able to route the instruments from Ableton Live into these. So I can literally, it's the same as if me like running a cable out of the computer and plugging in, you know, drums into 1 and bass into 4, or however I have it run. And then here I have this awesome product from Hosa. This is called, let me pull it out here so you can see it better. This is the little brother from Hosa, the SH8XO50. And it's just a cool snake that is able to go from here all the way back to that room where our amp room is at. And then I have a little mini snake here that's going into the Behringer. So both of them are Hosa. So I'm basically able to come out here. These are all outputs. So I technically have 8 different outputs. So I could have 8 sends coming out of here. They're going into this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's going all the way back here. That's the cable right there. Into our amp room, and they're plugging in here. And so I actually have 8 things for the sound guy to control. And so coming back over here, what I'm able to do is route these in Ableton Live and tell it where things are going. So at the top, I have a couple tracks here. I have my click track, and I'm able to say, go external out into the board in track 1, okay? And then I'm also able to go track 2 for guide. So these now are, actually that should be track 1 also, because I combine those two into one. Then I tell it track 3 is drums and percussion, bass is 4, so on and so forth. I can tell it whatever I want, I can assign it to where it goes. And then over on the software, this is the actual board, and I can tell it here what I want this to be. So I've got 1 into click, drums, bass, and synth, and they correlate to what's happening over in Ableton Live. So as I'm playing something, let me just play, you can see in the mixer what's happening. I've got a click always going on. So in our ears, that's what we're hearing. So we're locked in, but then the other instruments are here, and I can kind of balance those how I want them. Let me stop it here. So what that's able to do is right off the bat, I have like a basic mix that I can make here with all these tracks, and then that gets sent out. What I'm doing is I've got a master out here that's the mix, and then I have a bus out that is just the click. Actually, that should sometimes we use that for MP3, but basically it's just the click that's happening. So moving on over to what this looks like on our board, on that box back there, I'm able to tell it to send on channel 1 is basically the main mix here. And then over here, I'm gonna hit play again. You can see this is our Behringer board. Okay, so I'm hitting play here. And then you can see I've got a stereo channel that's the mix. And then I've got click here. Obviously click is muted, but I could unmute, I could fade this in and out however I want. Now, I could eventually, I've got these extra channels that my idea is to have like all of the electrics going through this one and all of the keys going through this one. Oops. That way the sound guy can even further balance the mix. But in the meantime, what we do is we have another app, and this correlates to the XR18. This is the same thing as that. And so our sound guy can have this app, and he can make a mix however he sees fit. So it's really effective because we're all getting a good mix. And then over here in our Behringers, we've got these routed where you can see this blinking up here. This is the click, and that's the track. That's just clicking it in. So all of us, we can, if I need to turn up the click in my ear, I can turn that up there. So anyway, I just kind of want to make that video to show what we're doing here at our church. And it took me quite a bit of time and research and all that to put that all together. So I wanted to kind of share with my experiences with anybody else that may be doing the same type of thing. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put it down in the comments, and I'll try to make a video that addresses exactly what you're talking about, what you're dealing with in your situation. It doesn't have to be for churches. The same exact setup could be if you were a live band, but it is super effective with churches. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please hit the bell, because I'm not getting a lot of notifications to people that have subscribed. People that have subscribed are not getting all the notifications. So if you hit the bell, that helps out you getting my content if you like my content. So anyway, Kennis Russell out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video.